Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been quite a while since I've posted a new video. The reason for that is because I was really not sure what I wanted to do with my YouTube. I decided that my YouTube will primarily be a review channel, so I won't be doing any more tutorials on my YouTube. However, I will be doing tutorials on my Instagram. I did just record a video on how to get this look, so if you're curious on how to do this eyeshadow look, be sure to check out my Instagram. I will include all of my social media information in the description down below. So for today's video, I am doing a review on the brand new Anastasia Beverly Hills Luminous Foundation and their brand new loose setting powder. So if you're interested in my thoughts on that, please keep watching this video. So before I jump into my review, I'd like to give you guys a little bit of information on both products. All of this information can be found on their website, which I will link in the description down below. The foundation retails for $38. It is 30 milliliters. It comes in 50 natural shades. It's described as a long wear medium coverage foundation. It's supposed to be free of flashback and it doesn't have oxidization. And it says that there's no need to set it with powder. So it's really supposed to just be a really flawless looking foundation. The loose setting powder retails for $36. It is 25 grams. And it says that it comes in 4 natural tones and 1 translucent tone, so 5 different shades. And it's described to blur imperfections. Both products are described as vegan, gluten-free, and alcohol-free. So I went and picked this up today at my local Ulta. It did drop yesterday on their websites and at Ulta online and in store as like an early preview type of thing. So you can really only find it at Ulta or their website until the 15th of the month. Then you can find it at any other retailer that sells Anastasia products. I'm going to be applying this foundation like I would any other foundation. I don't use primer just because I don't normally use primer in my regular foundation routine. And I'm going to be applying it with a damp beauty blender. They do have a foundation brush that they recommend you get with this foundation, but I decided not to because I don't really use brushes. Now I'm going to just jump right in to putting on the product. So this is what the package looks like. When you open it up, this is the bottle. It comes in a clear bottle so that you can see how much product you do have left. I picked out the shade 220N. Before I put the foundation on, I do just want to mention that I really recommend you go in store and like shade match yourself with the foundations. When I went in, I picked out a couple of shades that I thought for sure would be the perfect shade for me, but they were either too dark or too light. It does have a bit of like an orange undertone, at least the first shades that I picked out. So I ended up going a lot lighter than I thought I would be. So it does have a pump applicator, which I do appreciate. It makes it easier to actually take out the product. And I'm going to start with 3 pumps. So just to kind of give you guys an idea, it is somewhat runny and it does have a very nice texture. It feels very creamy. It has bounce to it, which means it's, in my opinion, that means it's gonna stick to your skin. I'm just gonna apply it directly on my face. I'm gonna take my beauty blender and just blend that in. Okay, so right off the bat, it feels really light, which is nice. It does feel hydrating, which is also good because it says it's a luminous foundation. I would assume that it would be hydrating. To me, that kind of means like a more dewy foundation. It is actually right now very light coverage. I'm gonna zoom you guys in. I feel like you can still kind of see blemishes on my face, so I don't think that one layer is really going to do it for my skin. I'm gonna apply it on the rest of my face and then see how that goes. So this is one layer of foundation. Right off the bat, I can tell you it dries down very quickly, which I personally don't like in a foundation, but some people might like that, I don't know. But I wouldn't even really call this medium coverage, which is what it's described as. I do think this is a very light coverage foundation. The reason I say that is because, I mean, I don't know if you can tell on camera, but in person, it doesn't really look like I'm wearing much foundation. And I feel like you can still see blemishes on my skin. So I don't feel that it is a medium coverage at all. But I am going to see how buildable it is. So I'm going to apply a second layer and then see how that looks. Alright, so this is 2 layers, and now I feel like we're finally at a medium coverage. I do think it is buildable. It does have a bit of dewiness to it. It does feel really dry on my skin though, so like you can kind of feel it soaking into your skin, but it doesn't look matte. It feels matte, but it doesn't look matte, which is nice. So I'm going to quickly apply my concealer off camera, and then I will come back to do the setting powder. Okay, so I went ahead and applied my concealer. I did like how my concealer was applying on top of the foundation. I don't feel like it just sticks to the foundation. Like the foundation isn't so dry. I have had specific foundations where when I put concealer on, it's just really hard to blend. So the good thing is you can easily blend concealers on top of this foundation. So I'm going to be applying the setting powder now. I am using the shade Vanilla. That's the shade that I picked out for the setting powder, which is the shade that's, so in the order of their shade range, it's the second lightest shade you could get. I really honestly don't need a new translucent powder. I only purchased it for the purpose of this video to give you guys my honest opinion, to let you know if it's worth spending the money. So I'm just going to take that damp beauty blender again and just dip right into the powder. And I'm going to press that into under my eyes. I do like how nicely it's blending into my skin. There's really like nothing left on the beauty blender. So it's definitely going into my skin and not staying on the blender, which again is another problem with some powders. Okay, so it definitely glides nicely onto your skin if you use like a wet or a damp beauty blender, so that's nice. So I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest of my face off camera. Alright guys, so it has been an hour since I've applied the foundation. I want to check in an hour after just because it did claim that it does not oxidize, and I just want to make sure that it doesn't, and I want to show you guys what my thoughts are. So it has not oxidized, which is good because they claim that it doesn't. I feel like it's still very close to the shade that it was when I originally applied the foundation. I did want to also let you guys know I did not use a setting spray because when I normally do my makeup for just everyday like makeup that I'm going to casually wear, I do not apply setting spray. I usually only use setting spray when I have events to go to. So like I said, I'm going to stick with how I would normally do my makeup, and that is how I normally do it. So an hour in, so far so good. So I will let you guys know in a little bit, maybe 2 to 3 hours, how it's doing on my skin. I'm gonna be going outside. It's really humid outside, so we'll see how it does in the heat. Alright guys, so it has been 4 hours since I've applied the foundation. Normally I would kind of wait a little bit longer to end my wear test, but it has been 85 degrees today in Portland. It's been extremely humid. I've been walking around. I was outside for majority of the 4 hours just hanging out with my dog. So I feel like I do kind of have a pretty good idea on how the foundation is. I would say that overall it stayed really nicely. It has not oxidized. It really hasn't even melted off. Like obviously like I'm getting a few cracks here and there, just natural wear. However, overall the makeup has stayed in place, and that's even without me putting any setting spray on. I'm still not sure how I feel about the powder, just because I don't feel like it did anything different than what any normal powder would do for my skin. So I would probably say that with the powder, I would probably rate it on from a scale of 1 to 10, I would probably give it like a 5. The reason being is because, like I said, I don't know that it has done anything different. And I do think that $36 is really, really expensive for a face powder, especially when my go-to face powder is the Airspun one, and I got it for $11 on Amazon. So it's really hard for me to say it's definitely worth the money for the powder. As far as the foundation goes, I would definitely recommend it. I would give it, on a scale of 1 to 10, I would probably give it like an 8.5. The reason I wouldn't give it a 10 is because I don't feel like it has really done anything exceptional for my skin. So I have, like, I would say normal skin. I don't really get oily. There are certain places where I might get oily throughout the day, but I'm not like usually oily there. It says it's a medium coverage foundation. I wouldn't call it a medium coverage foundation at all. I would really call it a light coverage foundation. As far as the different foundations that I have purchased have gone, I would definitely describe this one as a light, whereas like something like the Fenty Beauty definitely is a medium coverage foundation. The good thing about this foundation is it is buildable. Like I said, it did stay in place. It hasn't really shifted. It definitely doesn't oxidize, which is very, very important, because obviously when you're picking out a color, you don't want the color to change as time goes by. Yeah, I mean, overall, I was pretty impressed with the foundation. I definitely think if you're really into Anastasia, if you're really into luminous foundation, and you like the lighter coverage foundations, then I would definitely recommend the foundation for you. So yeah, I hope that this video was helpful for you guys if you were considering buying the new foundation and powder. If you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe to my channel. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you have an idea on what products I should review next, please leave a comment in the section down below. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys next time.